Good afternoon and welcome to Zechi TV Switzerland. My name is Wendell Eduardo. I am going to be your host today, and it will be my privilege to introduce you to some guests that we have today on our TV station. I will start in no particular order. I will start from Mr. Mike Moneke. We are celebrating Nigeria at 65. Happy independence to Nigeria. So Mr. Mike Moneke is one of our guests today. He is the NIDO chairman, Nigerian Diaspora Organization of Switzerland and Liechtenstein. So Mr. Mr. Ike, I'll give you opportunity to introduce yourself today to us, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Switzerland. Good evening, Nigerians, wherever you may be. My name is Ike Moneke, and I'm the chairman, the president of Nigerians in Diaspora, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein. I live in a small city called Weinfelden, and this is the northeast of Switzerland with my family. I've been in Switzerland for about 25 years, and I've been doing my service, and still I remember that I'm a Nigerian and I also believe in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next guest today is Mr. Samson Okenwo. Please, sir, introduce yourself to us.
Yes, thank you very much, and thanks for having me. My name is Samson Oluwatosin Okeowo, born and half raised in Lagos, Nigeria. I am also the Secretary General of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Switzerland chapter, and also the IT Director of NYCN European chapter. Currently advancing my study in cybersecurity and in Switzerland. Beyond my professional background, I am deeply passionate about Nigerian empowerment, leadership, development, and national transformation. Allow me to also say this. At NYCN Switzerland, our focus is to build a generation of Nigerians in diaspora who stand for competence, character, and commitment. Young people who use their skills, education, and integrity to project a positive image of Nigeria and contribute meaningfully, to her progress. For me, representing Nigerian youth is not just a position, it is a responsibility to be the voice of a new Nigerian built on unity, discipline, and excellence. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. We'll get back to that because a lot of people don't know about your organization. I'll give you an opportunity to educate more on your organization. So the next guest we have today is Mr. Ernest Ngadi Uba. Sorry, sir, if I murdered your name. Please, can you introduce yourself to us and who are you?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Ernest Uchendungadioba. I reside in Stockholm and I'm the CEO of African Living Consultancies to Sweden. Before now, I was some time ago, for a period of 8 years, the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Sweden, during which I was equally appointed or nominated to be the chair of the chair. That means the chairman coordinating the other chapter chairs in Europe, which I did effectively by meeting the chapter chairs and we are discussing our chapter problems before the central body. And apart from that, I've been engaged in other diaspora engagement in Europe and the South African Diaspora Organization. There was this remittances organization conducted or organized by the African Union and European Union, during which we went to some conferences around Europe, like in Vienna and Holland. Apart from that, I've been in Sweden for the past 26 years. And yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
sir.
And presently,
Okay, sir.
presently,
Thank
I'm
you.
equally working on. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for introducing yourself. To be honest, I guess that there will be a lot of Nigerians out there that haven't heard anything about your organization. I would like to give you like at least 1 to 2 minutes to tell us more about the organization you represent today as a proud Nigerian. So I'm going to be starting from Mr. Ike Moneke. Mr. Ike Moneke, please can you tell us more about NIDO and what they represent in Switzerland and in Liechtenstein?
Okay, like I mentioned shortly when I was introducing myself, I head the NIDO Switzerland and Liechtenstein. NIDO means Nigerians in Diaspora Organization. So we are the Swiss chapter, and as God may have it, I lead this association. And this is an association of Nigerians who are living in Switzerland or Liechtenstein, who are well positioned to render help to other Nigerians who might need it. We are an organization that believe in transparency. We are an organization that believe in oneness. We are an organization that believe in rule of law. We are respectable Nigerians who all professionals occupied in one trade or the other. We are wholly employed, and we are also sometimes employers of labor. So we are an association that try to create more value for Nigerians in Switzerland. Also Nigerians who are visiting, and we try to mediate or coordinate between the needs of Nigerians as well as the part the Nigerian embassy in Switzerland can play. We try to mediate between the Nigerians who are in need and the Swiss authorities. Swiss authorities in the federal level as well as in the local level. We try to stand for Nigerians who have one problem or the other. Sometimes we have issues with the police. Sometimes we have issues of community problems. We stand in because we are Nigerians who are scattered all over the place in Switzerland, who have spent a lot of time here, and we understand how the system works. Just for a little information, Switzerland is a country that does not speak English as its language. We speak German, French, Italian, and what they call Rhoto-Romanish. And for you to effectively offer Nigerians this kind of support or this kind of help, you must have to command these languages. So we are here long enough in this country, supporting Nigerians, creating more value. Creating more value means, for example, somebody happens to be here either by chance or by commission, and somebody dies, for example. We are the people call upon to help, to support. And we, at the same time, we also help our nation, our members in the of Nigerian community who might find themselves also in other countries. In Nigeria, for example, we support our homeland. We do different projects. We support in health issues. We support in public affairs issues and in schooling as well. Educational support is also one of our main topics. So
Okay, sir.
we try to make sure that people who come in contact with us know that they are at home. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. So are you trying to say that the organization is open to every Nigerian living in and around Switzerland? Or is it
Yes.
open to just a selected group of people?
This is a group that is open to every Nigerian who lives in Switzerland or Liechtenstein.
Thank you so much, sir. So the next person I'm going to be asking is Mr. Samson. Sir, please, can you introduce your organization? What do you do? And is your organization also open to every Nigerian youth or just the selected individuals? Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Like I said before, also, NYCN has been around for over 63 to 62 years. I got to know NYCN through the leadership of Ambassador Chukwudi Austin Iguilo, who also appointed me as the Secretary General of NYCN. The National Youth Council of Nigeria Switzerland chapter is built on two foundations: competence and character. Competence in what's not only passionate but also skilled. Among us, we have IT specialists, engineers, doctors, and entrepreneurs. Creative and students, and so on. We bring the youth together, for a common goal. We bring knowledge, innovation, and global exposure that we can be channeled into national building. And we are proof that Nigerian youth are capable of excellence anywhere in the world. I am a proof, And to talk about competence alone is not enough. Character is our compass, actually, and we believe in integrity, discipline, and also patriotism. We reject corruption, tribalism, regardless of where you are from, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Edo, and so on and so forth. The very things that weaken our nation today, we stand for unity, service, and accountability. For us, it's clear, it's crystal clear what we represent. We represent the youth in diaspora, Switzerland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That is awesome. Our next guest that is going to be speaking about the African Living Constituency of Sweden is Mr. Ennis. Mr. Ennis, please can you let us understand what your organization is for and if it's open to everybody to join?
Yeah, good evening once again. I could continue a little bit from what the chairman of the Nigerians in diaspora, Switzerland, has said. I worked in that atmosphere for a while, for about 8 years. Now I have a new chairman. But during my services, during my time in Tenor, he opened me up to get involved with other organizations like African Diaspora and some countries' government. And in continuation with the services of the Nigerians in diaspora, we build a link between the Nigerian community and the embassy. There are times they put up fees that are very exorbitant for citizens, community, diaspora community. We'll go ahead to discuss it. And that way we solve problems for the Nigerian community. In that field, it took me to get exposed to more than 20 Africa and Nigeria, European countries during my movement around. And during that scenario, I had to build contact and business network. So I opened up the consultancy firm where I used to help Nigerian businesses that consult me to link them up with business partners in Europe. If it's not in Sweden, I have my links in other countries and I link up businesses. I was a particular case where the guy was my classmate. He was wanting to go into oil business. He needed 5 companies that all scattered in Europe. I had to network with those companies and becomes a bridge between the Nigerian company and the European companies. So those are the kinds of things I'm doing, and I'm still involved in the diaspora, Nigerian diaspora organization in Europe. And presently, on a private venture, I'm trying to make an encyclopedia of the services of NIDO for the past 20 years, because invariably this year should be the 25th anniversary of NIDO, because it was officially in London year 2000. But not much is being said about that because of the way people are managing right now. But we cannot forget to mention that. So that's what I do for now. And I involve in so many advocacies. When some Nigerians are involved, they consult me and I use my network to solve some problems.
Oh,
So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's amazing to see that Nigerians, wherever we are creating impact and we don't shy away from our culture. So today, as we celebrate Nigerian independence and Nigeria at 65, we are going to be looking at how Nigeria has impacted us and impacted our country, Nigeria. So I have some questions today that I'm going to be throwing out to our guests today. And the first question I want to ask you is, what does Nigerian independence means to you personally? Mr. Ike, I would like you to answer that question for me. What does Nigerian independence mean to you personally, sir?
Okay, Nigerian independence personally is a time to remember the good times. A time to remember in those days in primary school where we organize a celebration and you come out in your clothes, well ironed, well pressed, and very white, and you do your marching and you present yourself the best way you can. So these are some of the nice remembrances. But then On the other hand, this remembrance of nice times has been overshadowed by what has happened for the past 60 years, I would say. It hasn't been a good one. So it's also a bad feeling that I have that after all these years, Nigerians have taken over their life in their hands, taking charge of their future, putting it in their hands, and also taking the charge to preserve their history. But it hasn't been a good result after all. So Nigerians Independence Day is a day that is a little bit of a mixed feeling for me. Mixed feeling, more a disappointment than having a feeling of good remembrances, because we have not done well so far in every facet, be it politically, be it economically, be it socially. We are still crawling, and that is very, very painful.
So, Mr. Ennis, do you feel the promises of independence has been fulfilled in Nigeria?
I should say no. And normally, somebody at 65 should be going for pension. And Nigeria should be going for pension right now and putting up the youths to take over, because changes has been going on and we cannot run in the same way we did 1960 and now. So we need the young Nigerians, the youths who are now, who have the technology with them, who have the speed, who have the skill, who have the know-how of modern world. When we before at independent, the world, even Europe, was backward. But right now everybody is moving at the speed of light. So we need to catch up. We're not catching up. We are just trying to exist, which is not proper at 65, because we have the potential, we have the population, we have the youth, we have all the know-how. Nigerians are breaking records around the world. Why can't we do that at home? So the problem is the diaspora. I try to look back. Remember Zik, he was a diaspora. Remember Awolowo, they were all out. Kwame Nkrumah, the Pan-Africans, they all traveled to Europe to pick up knowledge, and that was why they came back, could be able to plot and fight against the colonial masters. And then we are fighting against a white color. Now we are fighting against ourselves. So that's why we're kind of in a standstill. And the British, they enjoyed it by creating the divide and rule. So they insinuate in us to fight ourselves, and that's why we're not moving. If we don't think as one and work for ourselves, we might be crawling for another 5 years more, if not. So I don't think I'm satisfied with Nigeria 65.
Oh, okay, sir. Mr. Sampson, how do you think young Nigerian view Nigerian independence separately or differently from the older generation? Because you seem to be the younger one here. So as someone that represents
Yes.
the youth, how do you think that the youth or the young Nigerian view Nigeria differently?
Yes, thank you for the question. I mean, for many, it's just another public holiday when we come to the topic of independence and how we see it as Nigeria of today. You know, we must remind the nation that October 1st represents sacrifice, unity, and a promise yet to be fulfilled. you know. And if you ask me today, I mean, like you really asked before, that are the promises, being fulfilled? Absolutely not. Also, it's part of, I mean, I'm merging it to the question that you asked me right now. We are politically independent, yes, for sure. But economically and socially, and many Nigerians are still in chains, joblessness, poor education, insecurity. The promise is still alive, it's there, but it depends on what we do now and what we do with it. Because let me put it in this way: most of us find ourselves in this country called Switzerland. Why? If I ask you deeply, why are you here? Why me and you are here? Is because if Nigeria was a good place after the independence, we wouldn't be here, because independence means being freed from every chain, being freed from bully, being freed from corruption and poverty, injustice. but it's not the way we see it today, And if you look at Nigeria of today, the missed way of prosperity is by the midst of doing Yahoo Yahoo or Olosho. That's how you provide food. That's how you put table on your food on your table. And I mean, for me, if you ask me what does it mean and what do I understand Nigeria of today, it's just another public holiday. People go home, go sleep, have a good time.
That's that's actually funny. But okay, let me. I have another question here. Considering Nigeria at 65, how should we balance our traditional heritage and the modern national identity of today, 21st century? So, Mr. Ike, I would like you to answer that question for me. How do we balance our traditional heritage and the modern national identity we have in the world right now?
This question, thank you very much for this question because it's really apt. But I still will like to connect it to the question you asked before. You really have to know where you're coming from to know where you're going, or you really have to know the problem you have to find a solution to it. So I think to make a connection to the modern world we have now and our heritage, or I will just call it our culture, we have a lot of cultural heritages in Nigeria. We have a lot. We have what we have. We have the music. We have our languages. We have our culinary. I would call it fantastic options. But these values, we really need to bring them up. And we cannot bring them up if we still suffer from all these tribal problems, tribal bigotry that we have, not being the young ones are not given good education, the young ones or the families are not being well fed, and so on. So we have a big potential to make these cultural heritages or cultural riches, to put it out there, to make some good name for ourselves, to make Nigeria what it should be. Like I will use this word, to make Nigeria great again. We were great
Yeah.
before.
Mhm.
I mean, that was why some of our heroes past who fought for this independence, they succeeded in what they did without shedding a blood. And now we fight, we forgot all the stuff, all the things, all the ways they reasoned, and then we just believe in stealing, we believe in making trouble, and believe in suppressing people. So I think for Nigeria to be able to get its potentials right, we need to start thinking differently. We need to promote our culture. We need to promote our languages, the way we have. We need to promote the rich cultural traditions that we have spread all over the place. And it only requires good leadership. It only requires leadership that knows where we need to go. It only requires leadership that will be transparent, leadership that has a purpose, leadership that will live by showing good examples. And it's only when we have that these chances, these potentials will be there to be used and to put Nigeria on the map of the world where it should belong. Because Nigeria, I mean, it is born to be great, and we just need to make it great as it should be.
So for Nigeria to be great, it's all hands on deck, and it has to do with the efforts you and I put inside of it. So Mr. Ennis, I would like to ask you this question. What do you think is the biggest challenge that is holding Nigeria back today?
I could say, like you talked of culture, I remember recently the Igbo community in around Europe were celebrating their Iriji festival. That means the time for harvesting yam, which was the staple food of Igbo land. During those events, nobody discussed the tradition and the culture behind that. I came up with that taking a look at the Things Fall Apart movie, where you see the Igbo democracy, where the elders will sit and deliberate and come up with solution to problems of the community. And people were respected and given title for their performance and for their integrity. But that thing is missing. So this is a part of African rich heritage that we are losing out. And we have come now to settle abroad. We have to find a way to teach our kids our origin, why we respect our parents, which the kids here don't do. Like we give an example, my son went for his driving in test. The day he was going because he failed the first one, he didn't tell me. When he came back and was telling me, I was like pissed. The next one, when he was about to go, I said, come here. I placed my hand on him and blessed him. And he went there and got back with the license. These are respect your mother and father for your days to be long and you'll be blessed. These are things that are missing. Africa, we have just left our culture and we hear I tell people, pick what is good in Europe and drop the bad ones. But we seem not to do that. And for us to go forward, we have to work together. And I must say this thing, it might look because I'm in the diaspora, I'm trying to say it. The people that could change Nigeria or Africa will be mostly influenced by the diaspora because you learn from the developed world things even by movement, by looking. You don't need to go to Cambridge abroad to learn. So if we can implant those standards, because we have seen it real, when a house is clean in Nigeria, you can't compare it with a house that is clean in Europe. There is difference in the yardstick. So we have to implant that, and that's when Nigeria will start to move a little bit faster. If we don't, I think we might take a longer time.
Okay, in the past 5 years, it's not a secret that a lot of Nigerian youth have migrated abroad with this whole Jabba syndrome that is happening. So, Mr. Samson, I would like you to tell us, how would the Nigerian youth play a part in the next 60 years of Nigeria?
All right. Thanks for this great question. Well, first of all, I want to believe that this what we all know that first the Nigerian youth are totally disconnected. They are totally disconnected you know, from what is going on, for what we should know, for what the things that's supposed to be a normality for us as human, because they have deprived us of our resources, our things that we should know. If you look at, how let me just put it this way: we are not yet, independent in our mind. We have the people, we have the resources, we have the talents, you know, but leadership and accountability remains our greatest weakness, if you ask me, and even our oil became a curse instead of a blessing. We missed the chance to build industry, world-class education, and true infrastructure, which Nigerians are getting income from. And corruption and bad leadership, everything else, unemployment, insecurity, poor health care, flows from two to another, from point A to point B. And in this way, Nigerians youth has been disconnected also, that we are not being carried along, you know. Even though you are being carried along, you will have someone who wants to silence you. If you speak the truth, they come for you. If you keep silent, you know, they'll also come for you in one or two ways. If they don't come for you, Boko Haram will come for you. If they don't come for you, bandit will come for you. And this is where Nigerians have found themselves, and this is where also the youth have found themselves, because the people up there they are, in Switzerland we call them fall build. Fall build means the people you are looking up to.
The role
Even the
models.
Nigerian youths, exactly, the role models. Even the Nigerian youths in Nigeria, my colleague really said, he said, the people who will build Nigerians are not in Nigeria, they are in Europe, because the youth in Nigeria, they are waiting also for their turn, to be their turn, to loot, to destroy, and also to do all sort of to commit all sort of atrocity. So for me, I think we should start from independence of mind, education, learn and unlearn and relearn, pass the right information. you know Without this, I'm sorry, we are not yet independent. And then, yeah, this is how also the youth sees Nigerian of today. you know
Okay, with what is happening on social media, all of us we consume social media. So, what is one thing that the next generation must do differently to achieve a progressive Nigeria? Mr. Ike, I would like you to answer that question for me, because right now in Nigeria, social media is destroying a lot of things. What can we do differently, or use the social media as a medium of the 21st century to make a different Nigerian?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. I think using the social media, I mean, a lot of people are using it right now and they're also using it positively. But I think the main attraction or the main topic should be to promote. Like I said earlier, we just have to have good leaders who are good examples. So I think using the social media or any electronic media will help in when, for example, we make sure that we promote transparency. We make sure we promote integrity. No mediocrity in leadership. You promote people or you promote policies that make leaders very transparent, that make leaders be good leaders. I mean, good leaders who listen to the people and serve the people, not leaders who come to loot or who come to steal. So I talk about transparency. I mean, people, we know in Nigeria now, we we know it's all about stealing. It's all about corruption. But we should have systems that are strong enough that will withstand these ills in the society. For example, the judicial system or our electoral system. We should be able to use these mediums to promote the awareness that, for example, vote buying doesn't promote good government. Vote buying, I mean, it's not only the people who buy the votes, but the people who sell their votes. These are people that should be called upon to know that this way of life promotes bad leadership, because whoever is paying for your vote will want to recover his money when he gets into that position. So I think the social media has a lot to do in this regard. And I think if we have a structure in Nigeria, for example, who make sure that electoral systems are solid, the civil service is solid, the judicial system cannot be bought, and the security systems are doing their job, being well paid, don't depend on people to give them bribe or to depend on people who give them money before they do their job. So I think we're going to have a better society. So I think that what to pick up here is to have a very good structure in terms of education, in terms of judiciary, in terms of security systems, in terms of electoral reforms. And these are structures which will outlive people, individuals. So if I come in as a president, for example, I will serve my term, I will do my job. I won't have the opportunity to manipulate the system because the structure will not allow me. It's well positioned, it's well structured that nobody can manipulate it. So I think the social system or the social media platforms or the content creators, these are the things they can promote and convince people or make people have a change of mind. I'll call it national orientation. I'll call it strategy. These are the people who need to promote this, and people will key into that and have a new understanding of what the system will be.
Okay, sir,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Ike, before the independence 65 years ago, there was so much hope for Nigeria. Do you think after 65, there is still hope for the future of Nigeria as a country?
To answer this question, honestly, just my feeling right now, unfortunately, there is no hope. But reflectively, when you look at what is happening around and the rise of occurrences all over the place, be it on social media, be it on individuals who are clamoring for change, who are believing in this change, and who are also ready to do something for this change, I really think we have a chance. But then, there's a big work to do, be it diasporans. And that is why I think I differ a little bit from my brothers they spoke before. It is not only the job of the diasporans. We really have a big job to do, but we also know that there are people in Nigeria who also have a big part to play. Because most of these guys who are in Nigeria, who are not diasporans, they travel abroad as well and see the good things and enjoy these good things. And when they come back to Nigeria, they drop all the things they've seen, all the experiences they have at the airport, and they come in and then continue from where they stopped. So I think such caliber of people also have a big job to do. They also have a part to play to make sure that the future of Nigeria in the next, I wouldn't even want it to be the next 60 years. We should be talking about the next 10 years, the next 15 years, that we'll be able to see this change or the direction of this change. And that will give more hope and more belief that we'll be able to achieve what we failed to achieve in the past 65 years.
Okay, sir. Mr. Ennis, if you were given an opportunity to speak to a government leader in Nigeria about Nigeria and the prospect of Nigeria, what would be your advice to the leaders of Nigeria?
Yeah, my advice is for us to prick our conscience, because before you do anything, you have to have the intuition, the feeling, the nurse, the anger or the joy inside you. I somehow I remember cases like Obama before he came to power. When you listen to his campaign, he was pricking the minds of the Americans with reference to the promises of their founding fathers, which was care and concern for the common man. And for us to preach that gospel in Nigeria, when we prick our minds and speak to our people and make them understand why it is essential to don't be corrupt, to don't steal, to don't vote in criminals to power, and see that the benefit is far more better than the disadvantages. So that way, their frame of mind will change to do the right thing. Before we had people who were respected for integrity. Now nobody does that. How much money you have stolen gives you all the respect you want. But when we're talking about social media, for example, people will post wrong things. We can counterpose positive ones, and that can outnumber the bad ones. That way, they can win on that side. Then coming to the leaders, if I meet them like I do in some cases during my interaction with them at the embassy here, we try to tell them these things work this way here and it gives us this result. That's why we're enjoying certain benefits. For them to know that they need to do the same. My brother said they visit Europe. Visiting is different from staying. I visited Europe 3 times before settling down. All what I was looking at beautiful shirts and trousers to buy. I was not learning anything. So their visit here, they're only here to do their spray, they shop with their $100,000 they've stolen. So they don't learn anything. So that doesn't help. But we need to speak to them. Like when I go home and meet my relatives, when they want to carry my bag, I say, I'm not a handicap, let me carry it. Doesn't mean I wouldn't help you. Get a broom and let's sweep the place. They have to learn from you practically, that cleaning coach. The leaders have to learn, what does he pay me to work, repair this road? What does he pay me to build a medical infrastructure? So that is the message. It is start with the message of the mind. If we convince them at home, they, like my brother said, they will do better. But if their mindset remains looting and stealing, then we have not started moving.
Okay, on a positive note right now, I would like you, Mr. Sampson, to tell me what is one cultural thing that makes you to be a proud Nigerian, that anywhere you go to, you are proud to be in Nigeria and be associated with being in Nigeria.
That's a good question, very great question. What keeps me going as a Nigerian is our music, our food. our fashion, our resilience. You you want to talk about from Afrobeats taking over the world to Nollywood telling African stories, Nigerian spirits is unstoppable, actually. Anywhere, there was this say that anywhere you go and you don't find a Nigerian, run for your life. That tells you a lot. In Nigeria, we are talented, very talented, but the environment is toxic. Environment is not allowing you to, it's not facilitating your talent. It's not facilitating what you can actually, bring back to the nation. From the life of Burna Boy. Do you think in another country, if Burna Boy was all his life, depending in Nigeria, say, okay, I'm going to make it, I'm not going anywhere all over the world, I'm going to stay only in Nigeria and make my money. No, he moved. He moved the music career, to abroad. Those are the people who are making me proud. I think some times ago I went to C&A and they were playing Asa, Asa music. Awe, Ibololo, it's that thing was giving me joy because I was now telling the person that this music I like it. This person is from Nigeria. It's a pride on its own. You know, these are the true record keepers of our journey. Fela sang truth to power. Soyinka wrote resistance. Burna Boy carries our flag worldwide. Our culture and community and brotherhood once, every child was raised by old village. But today, selfishness has replaced that spirit, and I'm not I'm not regretting that I'm in Nigeria anywhere I go. But when they mention our leadership, I feel bad. I feel so sad because it's nothing to write home about. Thank you.
Okay, with the music and the culture and the beautiful food and the heritage of Nigeria, what is one thing that you say that keep us, did you think these things that I have mentioned, do you think it keep us divided or it keep us united as a community? Because once you bring up Burna Boy's music, even a Hausa man, an Igbo person or Yoruba person enjoy the music. So Mr. Ike, I would like you to tell me, do you think all these things that we have mentioned, does it keep us united or still divided after 65 years of independence in Nigeria?
No, I totally agree with you because, like my colleague just said before, Burna Boy music, Fela music, these are things that bring us together, no matter where you come from, or no matter what part of Nigeria you come from. So we're all proud about all this music. We're proud about our fufu stuff. Everybody is. That's. I think right now is also the rave in town. Everybody wants to eat fufu. I mean, Nigeria is also, we eat fufu there, but it's not the original fufu. I think Ghana also has something to say to that. So I think I agree totally. This is something that binds us together. He also mentioned resilience and the survival instinct in us. Anywhere, like he said, anywhere where there is no Nigerian, then you try to leave that place because it's not you cannot survive there. So I think our music is a big binding point. Our resilience is a big binding point, and our diversity, I would say, it plays a big part in keeping us together. I mean, we have different languages, and we have also the broken language, which all of us enjoy, and we can use that to interact with each other, even if our local languages are not the same. So I think these are things which bind us together, and we should try to promote. And because, he mentioned before as well, the leaders. It's always pointing down to this point, to the leaders. These are the things they have to promote. These are the things they have to support. Because with that, everybody becomes a proud Nigerian, even if we don't have food on our tables. But we identify with these issues and then we support it and we forget our sorrows and we forget our pains. So I think on that note, it is a big thing that puts us, all of us, together.
Okay, thank you so much. In conclusion, Mr. Ennis, what would be your advice for Nigeria as a country? We let us not talk about the leader because Nigeria cannot go better if even if the person on the street does not create an impact. So Nigeria is not just for the leaders, it's for everybody to make a contribution wherever they find themselves. In every walk of life you find yourself. So what would be your advice to Nigeria as a country at 65 years? It's quite an old woman or an old man at this point. So
Yeah, you made a point about not only the leaders. I could make a reference when they increase fuel price. The man that's selling at the pump at the gas station tries to manipulate the machine equally, adding more pain to it. So we have to, as we are blaming the leaders, we have to play our own part by being sincere. If you pick somebody's purse, you look for the owner, you live a sincere life and try to be upright. That way, the leaders can equally, when they do theirs, it becomes fully because they equally watch you how you react. There was an instance a friend who is in Nigeria went to Ghana and he bought something. The boy was giving him back change. He said, "You can keep it." The boy said, "No, take it, it's yours." I don't think that is very common in Nigeria. We have to live a exemplary life too to be able to challenge the people we are challenging. You could not do worse than they did and you are challenging them. So every Nigerian should take it up as their personal assignment to be nice on their own level. And if 10 of us get nice and the other five is bad, they will be forced to learn because we copy. What your son sees you doing is what he copies, not what you tell him. So we invariably, when most of us behave well, we will influence our brothers, our friends, our sisters, and that way it will go faster.
okay, thank you so much, sir. And Mr. Sampson, in conclusion, what would be your advice for the Nigerian youth that has left Nigeria to a lot of countries to go and seek for better opportunity? I know that it's just to make ends meet, but what would be your advice for them? Is it to look back home, let all of us put our hands together and make a better Nigeria? I want you to advise the youth.
Yes, absolutely. Lead with service, not greed. Feed the needy, not the greedy. And Pete, first, you put people above power. Remember that leadership is stewardship, not ownership. Yeah. And why we find ourselves here? I'm taking you back a little bit. I'm still coming to that. Why we all find ourselves here? Because the environment could not facilitate our journey. Most of us crossed the Atlantic Ocean just to look for survival. Some of them died there. Why? It still boils down on the leadership. And what I think the real advice I would advise, young people like me and people in diaspora is to rise beyond complaining online and do something. We can all complain all anytime we like, but if we don't rise beyond the complaint and take the country back, continue to engage, pass the right information, you know, that will make the leadership of Nigeria to do well, to facilitate, to build a normal hospitality. Just all those things are common thing. Build a normal hospitality. These are the things diasporans wants to see if they come back home. These are not that we had so many Nigerians that that actually went back home, to contribute to the growth of the country. But they frustrated them, they frustrated their businesses, everybody wants to chop and chop. People are smarter than each other. People thinks by hitting one another is the way of smartness. We need to start passing the right information. We need to change something. We need to support our own local things, local products, local things in the sense that we should use what Nigerians, a common Nigerians is producing. If you want to tell me about shoe, about bag, like Innoson, we have Innoson car, we have Nord. These are the people, it's for me, I'm sorry to say it's a madness for a leader to carry the whole money from the pocket of a common Nigeria to go buy Rolls Royce that was made from another country. Now, my question is, what is wrong with our local? What is wrong with Innoson? What is wrong with Nordcar? And this is how we build a nation. And if our leaders lead by example, you don't even need to tell people in diaspora to come back home. Seeing is believing. You don't need to tell them. You don't even need to pass the information. If all what we need is ready today, is in place today, Nigerians in diaspora are ready to pack their bags and go home. Do you think it's it's a joy for us to be here? Most of us, we might pretend to be like, okay, I'm doing great on my own, but actually the truth and the fact is most of us want to be home. But where is the home? Where we compete in a gutter while other countries are innovating. We start dragging ourselves as a leader instead of us to look beyond complaining and do something. And this is what we attract most of our people in diaspora to go back home. We sent away most of our competent, beautiful doctors and lawyers, with great mindset. We sent them away unknowingly by a bad leadership. Here we find ourselves, a Nigerian. I'm using my brain, using my knowledge for another country, which is not supposed to be. What is wrong with me? Going back home, develop my country with my knowledge that I have. But it is just unfortunate that most of us can't open our eyes today or wake up tomorrow and say, I'm packing my bag, I'm going back to Nigeria. That's why I said the advice is to start passing the right information, supporting our local, and do something to take the country back. It may take long, when the Bible says it will tarry, but it will not tarry, it will surely come. It will take long, but information goes beyond. When we pass the right information, we are ready to go back home and do the right thing, not be waiting for Babasogbe government, instead of us to take our country back and leave all those things and stop queuing behind the people who have deprived us of our prosperity. We need to start doing something before we go back home. I won't advise any Nigerians to pack his bag tomorrow and go back home. No. What you are enjoying here must equally happen to where you are going. That's when you can call that place home. Otherwise, you are packing your bag, you are going back to hell. I'm sorry to say that. Yes. So, that's just my advice.
Okay, Mr. Ike, the chairman of NIDO, Switzerland. What do you think? Switzerland is where we live now, and we are privileged to have our children, our family here in Switzerland. What are some of the things we can bring from Nigeria here to educate most of the kids that are born abroad in diaspora? How do we impact their life and teach them about Nigeria? Because tomorrow we wish that these kids will bring some of those things back home. We are here, we don't want to be lost here. So I would like you as the chairman to advise us or talk about some of the things we can implement in Switzerland as Nigerians that will help the next generations of Nigerians living in Switzerland.
Thank you very much. This is it has a very wide span, the answer to this question, but I'll try to do my best. In NIDO, for example, we have programs that support the youths. We have Nigerian families, sometimes mixed, sometimes the parents are also from Nigeria, but we have a different environment. So we have programs in NIDO that support youth development. I mean, we are getting old, we are getting nearer to our retirement, and we also hope that the kids we born, the kids that we're raising up, will be able to step into our shoes. So we start at home first. We provide this kind of service in NIDO, where we have programs where we encourage our kids to speak the local languages, even if we don't speak it at home. We also have the issue or the point that we make sure that we go home, even if it is one time in 2 years, we take our kids home to show them where they come from, to get used to the local system, to speak with our grandparents, to speak with their local cousins. This promotes also this understanding and make sure that we don't forget where we come from. So you show them this both sides of of life, of the world. So they have the chance to marry them together, to bring them together. And I mean, the social system as well as the electronic system makes it possible that you can communicate with all these connections, all these home or family members. So we promote that as well. Of course, we have in pipeline, for example, the NIDO Switzerland is trying to set up a NIDO tours. That means it's a kind of an affiliation of NIDO Switzerland that will be able to organize visits or package tours. So when people want to visit Nigeria, for example, to visit family members, and then we offer this kind of service or promote this kind of service. So also make sure that people don't forget where they come from. And in NIDO as well, we are also empowering our cultural groups from Nigeria, promoting them to come to Switzerland to display our cultural heritage, maybe in terms of dance, in terms of music. NIDO Switzerland last 2 years, 2023, sponsored a young saxophonist. She's, I think, 14 years or 15 years. So NIDO Switzerland brought her here, organized shows for her, paid all her transport, paid her accommodation, and made sure she had a nice time. She made shows, she showed her talent, and people were really impressed that such a thing could come out from Nigeria. So we have this youth program in our package that makes sure that the connection is not lost and the connection is not cut, because we believe when we go in retirement, we also already prepared people who are going to take over from us.
Thank you so much, sir. Wherever we are, it would be nice to keep the lights, to keep the fire as a Nigeria burning. Thank you so much for being our guest today on Zechi TV station. Nigeria at 65. Happy Independence, Nigeria. And I wish you an awesome and beautiful weekend. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.